Thom Hartmann here with you. Our guest, Eamon Fingleton, the author of In the Jaws of the Dragon, America's Fate in the Coming Era of Chinese Hegemony. Eamon, first of all, it would help if I put you back on the air there. Eamon, what is America's fate in the coming era of Chinese hegemony? Let's get right to this.
Basically, America is losing it. The era of American leadership of the world community is drawing to an end. It's partly financial and economic. It's partly also simply political. The Chinese system, in my view, is more effective because precisely because it is Machiavellian. It's possible to extend the system around the world. It's possible to essentially manipulate people abroad almost as easily as it is to manipulate them at home in China. But much of the impact is above the board, board in a sense, in that it's visible, at least economic influence, the ability of the Chinese to finance what's going on in the United States.
Yeah, it's not being done in secret, much of it, but very few people seem alarmed by it. It's rather striking, and you write in your book at some considerable length how this authoritarianism in China, which would have been anathema in the United States 20 or 30 years ago, has had we thought about it explicitly and said, shall we bring this into our governance and into our corporate boardrooms, is being embraced and by many American corporations simply because they want to do business in China, and that the values associated with it are coming home, not just to the United States, but to other so-called Western democracies.
Right. It's a dilemma for every corporation. An example is retailers. American retailers, they have to decide whether they're going to source from Chinese suppliers who may or may not be complying with all sorts of laws. As a general proposition, they're not complying. A typical arrangement is a model factory where the American corporation goes and checks out whether the goods are being produced in a legal way. So there's a front factory which looks like it's fine, but then most of the real work is being done somewhere else.
These are Potemkin villages, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one thing. So if you're a major American retailer, let's not name names, but if you're a major American retailer, you've got a dilemma because on the one hand, you want the best price for your customer, but on the other hand, you're playing ball with a system that is breaking the law, which is making you complicit in all sorts of stuff. Right. This is a very troubling arrangement.
Yeah, and American companies seem to be going down this road. Now, also, and problematically, also the corruption of the American companies. I mean, we've got some major American corporations who are now participating with the Chinese government in cracking down on their own civilians, their own citizens.
Right, yeah. And you've got companies like Yahoo that have been cooperating with efforts by the Chinese authorities to censor the Internet. Each American company is really exposed to all sorts of pressure,
and some of this technology then comes home. Some of it was even used by the Bush administration.
Right, yeah. So at the end of the day, this is a matter for a national effort in the United States if the United States wants to preserve its idea of human rights.
Do you think a day may come, and I'm sorry to ask such quick questions here, but we only have a minute and a half or so left. Do you think a day may come when China will simply say to the United States, you're going to do it our way, or we're not going to buy your treasury bill anymore, or our military is now stronger than your military, will take you on, and basically we rule the world, not you guys, get out of the way?
I think the Chinese are going to be fairly subtle about this, and they see the political dangers of looking too tough. So it'll go on behind the scenes. The pressures will generally not surface.
Have we not already, to a large extent, reached that point, and it's just not overt? They're like you said, they're being subtle about it, but the fact of the matter is that that every American politician knows that if the Chinese refuse to participate in the next T-bill auction, our economy would crash?
Basically, yes. I think that the United States could call the bluff because China, even now, needs the United States more than the United States needs China. But getting the American establishment to see it that way is a big problem.
Yeah. I mean, they're the world's third largest economy. Within the next year or two, they'll be the second largest economy in the world. This is a significant issue, and they have become our factory floor. We have shipped our manufacturing to China, and now many chickens are coming home to roost. Not the least of which is this authoritarian, Confucianistic worldview that is infecting America's boardrooms and America's politicians. The book is In the Jaws of the Dragon: America's Fate in the Coming Era of Chinese Hegemony by Eamon Fingleton. Available in any bookstore, unsustainable.org, his website. I beg of you, read this book. This is amazing. Mr. Fingleton, thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure, Tom.
Good speaking with you.